Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Brass Monkey X. So, for the few of you guys out there that have watched my Dungeons and Dragons videos, I've only posted a couple, but you guys know that I'm running a few of my friends through the Lost Mine of Fendelver. And they currently just finished up this part here, the Redbrand Hideout, which is basically the cellar of the Tresender Manor. And now, normally what I do is I use battle maps when we play. I don't really have a lot of terrain to use, so I just draw up battle maps. And I've done a video on what I use for battle maps. You can find that in my D&D playlist on my homepage. And what I wanted to start doing was making some more three-dimensional terrain, because it's mostly for my wife. My wife has a hard time playing with Theater of the Mind. She has trouble imagining what's going on. It's hard for her to see it in her head without actual representation of it, like physical representation. So, for the Redbrand Hideout, I decided to go ahead and make a three-dimensional model as a battle map that they can use. So, it took me quite some time, but we had time between sessions, and this is what I came up with. I built the entire Redbrand Hideout three-dimensionally so that my players had a physical map that they could use their minis on and get in there and play with, just so that my wife could have a much better time and a better understanding of what's going on. Because like I said, she has a little bit of trouble seeing things in her mind with the way I described them, I guess. So this was for her. I think I got it pretty good. If you compare the two here, it's not bad. I tried to copy it on a 1-to-1 scale, but some of the rooms I had to make them a little bit bigger. Play-wise, it just wasn't going to work. So like you could see up there, the jail cells. Like I had to extend them a little bit. But I mean, most of it is done exactly to scale as it describes in the book. All of the squares are 1 inch by 1 inch. Okay, so that represents a 5 foot by 5 foot area. I followed all the measurements properly. I made the walls the right height. They're supposed to be 10-foot ceilings. So the walls are 2 inches tall. As you can see here, that's what it looks like next to a little Redbrand we have there. Just for size comparison. You can see over here too, I got our Nothic in there. Over here we got a little bugbear down the hallway there. So you can see it's sized pretty good. I learned a few things doing this. Like, I would definitely change the scaling a little bit next time, just to give my players a little more room to play. Like, I would definitely widen some of these areas out, because I do have a big group that I'm running. I have 7 people in my D&D group. So fitting like 7 characters in this room and then fighting 3 of these Redbrands, like it was a lot. Like it did take up a lot of space. So I definitely learned that next time I'm going to make the scale just a little bit bigger, just to have a little bit more room. But the cool thing about this, guys, is I made it completely modular. So like when they started playing, this was the only room they saw. Their characters came down the stairs, they came in through this way, and this was the only room they got. And then as they opened up each door, like I made it so that you can just add on a new room at a time. So if they opened up the door over there, I would just add on the next room. I thought that was a really cool feature. My players seemed to really enjoy it. Now, how I made this stuff was, I didn't use a lot of materials. I used just a lot of foam, some dollar store supplies. Like a lot of the plastic stuff here was 3D printed. My barrels, I 3D printed those. The bunks here, those were all 3D printed, and I painted them myself. The table down there, like the table over here in the Iarno's workshop. This table I actually made out of wood. That was craft wood. Same thing with the bookshelf there. I did that one out of popsicle sticks. But I mean, all the plastic stuff was 3D printed. I tried to 3D print these crates too. I did one, and I realized it was way more trouble than it was really worth. So what I did was I found those little cubes. They're wooden cubes. I got them at the dollar store. So I just got a pack of those, and I painted those up. I mean, they work. You know what they are. They look like crates. So that was pretty simple to do. The floors. The floors are made from, it was a lot of the techniques that I used, I basically copied from, there's a channel called Wylock's Armory. Really good channel. He has some great building techniques. He's like a miniature master. The guy is awesome. I recommend you guys go check him out to see the techniques of how to build this stuff. I'm not going to make videos on how to build stuff here. I just wanted to show you what you can accomplish. I've never done anything like this before. And this is what I came up with. I thought it came out really good. But like I was saying, like the floors here, it's real simple. It's just like chipboard. This stuff here, it's almost like, it's like a really dense cardboard. You get it at the craft store. It comes in a 12-inch by 12-inch sheet. You just cut it to the sizes that you need. So this was just chipboard. And then this stuff here, just dollar store foam board. And I just glued the dollar store foam board on the chipboard in the correct sizes that I need. And then you mark out the grid, and you cut it with a utility knife. You score it with a utility knife, and then you come in with like a mechanical pencil, and you just score the lines with the mechanical pencil to deepen them. And that's what makes your grid. Like, it's real simple. And then with the floors, like, I didn't want to go with just like a gray tone like everybody does. All these dungeons you see online, all the tutorials, everybody who does these things, they all just do gray. It's always so dark. And with this story taking place on the Sword Coast, I figured there'd be some sandy soil. So instead of just gray, I put in this this tan tone here. I also put in a little bit of blues. I like blue. I thought that lightened it up a little bit. I like that. I liked adding the blue to it. You can see the walls I did were just grays and blacks. So I like how the floor turned out a lot better than the walls. I like the coloring on the floor. But I wanted to be able to reuse these pieces in other campaigns and on other battle maps that I make. Like, I'm going to disassemble this whole thing. And then now I have walls for days. I have walls I can use for tons of other terrain now. I'll never have to make a wall again, thank God, because it is a very tedious process. Now the walls, how I made those, that's real simple too. I went to Home Depot and I got a 4-foot by 8-foot sheet of this foam insulation. I used to use this doing construction. It's just foam insulation. And I cut this to the length that I need. I made strips like this. And then I went to that map in the book and I counted out the squares to see how long I needed. And I cut out every single wall. And then what I did was, with the utility knife, I went in and I added every little brick. I used that same technique where you score it with the utility knife, and then you come in with a mechanical pencil and you deepen the lines. So that's how I did that. And then on the bottom of each one, again, you just glue some chipboard to the bottom there to give it a little stability. And then I like I said, I painted these up with, it was mostly gray. I used like I did like a dry brush on them. Well, first I coated them in black. I used black Mod Podge. I took regular Mod Podge, put black craft paint in it, mixed it up, gave it all a black coat. And then with the walls, what I did was I came in and I dry brushed them with a gray. And then I came in with a lighter gray color and I did like a sponge brush on them a little bit, like I sponged it. Then I just added, when I was all done, I put white glue over it, like white Elmer's glue. And it dries up and it gives it like that nice shiny hard coat on it that kind of protects it too. And that's what I did with the floors as well. When they were all done, I came in and I put that white Elmer's glue on it. I mean the clear Elmer's glue, not the white. I mean the white will dry clear, but I like to use the clear stuff. Same thing with the cistern here. Carved every little brick there on the cistern. And then to give it that nice shiny look, I painted that with that aqua blue color to make it look like water. And then I couldn't even tell you how many coats of that clear Elmer's glue I put on there. to kind of make it look like water. Looks better in real life than it does on the film here, guys. But that's what I did for those. Oh, these are pretty cool. I like these. The sarcophagi that I printed out. I 3D printed these. I can't wait to use these in other campaigns. These are going to be a real fun feature because I don't think my players noticed, but the tops actually come off. So you could hide like little treasures in there. You put enemies in there, whatever you want to do. This one here is pretty cool. It's got that little figure on top, and the sword actually comes out. It's removable. So I can't wait to use those further down the line. The doors are, again, they're just made with that foam insulation. And then I used like popsicle sticks. As you can see, I just cut them to size. I sized it. What I did was I put a figure next to it and I tried to size it up properly. But again, Wylock's Armory, he's got a video on how to make doors. I basically copied what he did. I changed the scale a little bit, but it's basically, I can't take credit for it. It's his design. Same thing here with these. They're supposed to be metal dungeon doors, but again, made out of wood. Those are just toothpicks and popsicle sticks. And then I used my good paints on that. I didn't use the craft paints like I did for the terrain on these to get that effect, that rust effect. I had to use my better paints, so I used my Vallejo paints there. Just so I can get that rust effect going. So that would be difficult to do with just regular craft paints. Over here you can see, again, I 3D printed all this, the weapon racks and all those weapons and everything. Over here in the Wizard's Workshop, the paper there, that's just yellow Post-it notes. I rolled them up and I just tacked them down. Same thing over here. It's just a Post-it note. Those books, again, Wylock's Armory. There's a great video on how to make the books and stuff like that. All the potions and everything. Those are just beads I got from the craft store. You just take the little beads and then you stick a toothpick in the hole of the bead and you cut it off right at the tip there to make it look like a cork. That's how I got that effect there. What is that little spider leg there? That was just a broken 3D model. I had a little piece left, so I threw that on the table. I don't know what that was. That's just probably just a staple or something. I shaped it to look like some kind of tool he was working with. I don't know. Oh, these things here. These walls. These came out really cool. I love these walls and these columns. I made them the same way. The columns here. Got that wall there. These ones over here. Now, how I got this effect was I used regular styrofoam on these. I think it's called like polystyrene. I don't know, it's that regular white styrofoam that you get. It's like packing material. You get it whenever you buy things, anything you get in the mail order stuff usually, anything that gets shipped to you, it's going to have this polystyrene in it to protect it. This stuff is great for crafting. Now, how I cut these out was I marked it on the top like that. After I cut it to size, of course. I made them 2 inches tall, just like the other walls. And then I traced the shape of the wall I wanted on the top here. And then what I did was I used one of these. It's my retractable utility knife. Fiskars, by the way. If you're going to buy stuff like this, buy Fiskars. It's the greatest brand ever. But it extends out, okay, real far. I snapped a couple of these off, but it goes a lot further than that. And then what you do is you score it down as far as you can go, and you just follow the line that you traced. And then what you're going to do is you just start snapping it off. You snap the stuff off of there after you score it, and it gives it this really cool effect. It makes it look like broken walls, or like even like the side of a mountain you could use that as. I did the same thing with the columns here. It was basically the same effect. I shaped them the way I wanted to. I got the basic shape. And then I just kind of took the knife and just started chopping chunks off of it to get that like broken that broken stone effect there. Awesome. I love the way those turned out. And then I painted them just the same way as I painted everything else. Again, it's just that black Mod Podge as a base coat. Then I came in with some 2 different shades of gray and just I kind of dry brushed and then sponge brushed everything to get that color there. Oh, one more thing. To hold everything together, because when you do this, it is going to be a little flimsy. The pieces are just going to, if you bump into them, they're going to knock all over the place. So what I did was, you can kind of see it in between everything there. That there's white stuff in between the walls. That's this stuff here. I picked this up at the craft store. It's just that tacky stuff. They used to use it in like school to hang posters and stuff like that. I just used some of that, and in between each piece, I just shoved some of it down there to hold it all together. That way when the players are playing, it doesn't come apart. Because you don't really want that to... If you just put the stuff on there loose, they're going to knock it over. Especially you're getting your hands in there, you're moving your pieces, everything's going to fall over. So all these pieces that you see here, the barrels, even the bunks, everything's got that little white tacky stuff holding it down. So a little tip for you there if you want to keep everything in place. Pretty much everything has it except like the chairs. The chairs are movable. That was about it. What else? Oh, the bridges. Again, that was just chipboard. I used a piece of chipboard. I got it a little wet so I could bend it a little bit into that curved shape. And then I did, again, just popsicle sticks. And I think I used like matchsticks on the end there as like the posts. You could use anything, any kind of crafting wood that you have laying around. But like I said, I just used popsicle sticks, and those were matchsticks on the end there to give it that look. But yeah, that's it, guys. I just wanted to show you a quick look at my my Dungeons and Dragons dungeon here. It was so much work. It was very tedious work. If you're going to do something like this, I recommend that you do like one type of piece at a time. Like I did all of the floors at the same time. That way I had all the same materials out. You know, I cut all the chipboard for the floors first, and I glued on all of the dollar store foam board. You know, then that way you keep the process going the same. Like don't do one room at a time, because then you're going to be doing a floor, you're going to be doing the walls, and then you're going to make a door, and then you're going to have to go back and make 15 other doors. So like I said, I did everything all together. I did all the floors, then I did all the walls, then I did all the doors, then I did all my 3D printing. Then I went ahead and I used my tacky stuff to put it all together. But I love the way it came out. If you have any questions, just post them in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer your questions about it. If you want to see more of like my D&D stuff or like my miniature paintings, stuff like that, like I hand paint the minis that I print out and everything. I'm not very good at it. I'm still new to that. I do enjoy doing it, but like I said, I'm not the best at it. But I usually post this stuff over on my Instagram. So if you look in the description below underneath the video, there'll be a link to my Instagram account if you want to go check that out. Because most of the time my D&D stuff's going to be posted over there. So I know I'm not going to get a ton of views about this stuff on this channel. This channel's usually more gun stuff and prep and stuff. But, you know, I just wanted to show this off because I don't know. I thought it was cool. I like working with my hands, and whether you're doing it on human scale, on working on guns and stuff like that, or you're doing it on a miniature scale, it's no different to me. It's still an art form, and I enjoy doing it. But there you go, guys. Quick look at my Dungeons and Dragons stuff. I had to nerd out for a minute there. Thanks for coming along. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time.